What is up, guys? Delboy here. So Canelo Alvarez defeats Gennady Golovkin by a majority decision in what was a really entertaining fight. To me, it was razor close. Before the fight, my prediction was Canelo Alvarez by a controversial decision. I suppose I got it right in a sense because I see a lot of people online saying they felt Golovkin won. Now, me personally, I didn't feel those scorecards were controversial at all. I felt that was all quite fair. I felt that was all in the ballpark of where this fight should have been scored. I personally felt probably draw was right, believe it or not, but it wasn't controversial. This wasn't a robbery. This fight was a lot closer than the first fight. To me, the first fight was a relatively clear Triple G win. This fight was not that fight. It was similar in senses, but I felt Alvarez was a lot better in this fight. He really, really was. Where do we start? I was very impressed with Alvarez throughout this fight, but especially at the start. He was coming forward actually. He was using a jab. He was looking for counter opportunities. I felt he was working the body very well early on, and to me, the body work of Canelo Alvarez really paid its toll. And from early on, it looked like the body work was hurting Golovkin. Alvarez done a very good job of sneaking that left hook downstairs or the uppercut downstairs as well. And, Golovkin didn't really have an answer for that, He was blocking Canelo's hook to the head quite well, but, the body shots were landing regularly. Also, Alvarez, his jab was a lot more constant in this fight. He used it a lot more and it was accurate. He scored quite a few times with it. So Alvarez overall, especially in the first half of a fight, was very impressive. He wasn't going backwards. He was coming forward, looking for openings. Golovkin was using his jab, which was working. The jab was landing regularly for Golovkin. But in the first half of the fight, I didn't think Golovkin did enough. He was passive. I felt he was very wary of what was coming back. And Canelo really neutralised Golovkin, in my opinion, in the first half of the fight. He boxed extremely well. As the fight wore on, I would say round 8 onwards, Golovkin really started to get his groove and put pressure on, started to land some good shots, in particular the right uppercut. That was a shot that jarred, Canelo's head back quite a few times. That was a good shot in the fight for Golovkin. Again, Golovkin was starting to put his shots together a bit more as a fight went into the later rounds, and Golovkin won most of the later rounds from 8 to 12, but he may have left himself too much to do, and obviously when the judges' scorecards were read out, that was the case. I don't understand why people are calling this fight a robbery. I'll be honest with you. It was close. It was competitive. It could have gone either way. It was razor close as far as I'm concerned. Now, I watched this at about, obviously, 5 in the morning UK time, or 4:30 in the morning UK time, whatever it was. And I was, I did have quite a few drinks leading up to that. So maybe I need to go back and watch it with a clean head. Maybe I've got this wrong, but I didn't think it was a robbery at all. I felt it was a very competitive fight. It was a high-level fight. Even when I was half cut, listen, I really, really enjoyed the skill level on show. I felt it was a really, really good fight, an elite level fight. I thoroughly enjoyed it. So I will go back and watch it and I will sort of rescore it again. But to me, Canelo, I was really impressed, especially in the first half of the fight. And even the second half of the fight, yeah, he got caught with some big shots, but again, showed he's got a great chin. Alvarez has a great chin. And he wasn't hurt too much in this fight. He was hurt towards the end a little bit, but even when he was hurt, he rode it out really well. He kind of held when he had to. He was rolling with shots. Alvarez is a really, really clever fighter. He's an astute fighter with bags of experience now. So, he boxed a really good fight. Golovkin again, although I felt Golovkin won the first fight, I think, after that fight, I felt Golovkin probably would have felt that he could have done more. And I feel the same again here. Golovkin, again, you could argue he won the fight, but again, he should have done more. Too passive in the first few rounds. Really, really passive. Yes, his jab was landing regularly, but he wasn't the same old Triple G who was knocking over guys previously. And maybe that's because it's a step up in competition. Maybe it's because Golovkin's getting old. Maybe it's because Golovkin was never that good in the first place. That we won't know the answer to that question because he's 36 years old now. But it is what it is, man. Alvarez fought a great fight and he deserves credit for this. It's not like the first fight where I think most unbiased people had Golovkin winning. You know, I think this fight to me was a lot closer. I felt this was a better fight as well, actually. Thoroughly enjoyable fight. Credit to Canelo Alvarez for really boxing to a plan and getting the win. And also credit to Triple G. You know, he boxed a good fight in his own right. Came on strong in the later rounds, and that's really impressive for a 36-year-old against a 28-year-old who's in his prime. You know, both guys fought a good fight in stages. Canelo got his hand raised, and that's what it is. Now, where do both guys go from here? Now, we'll start with the winner. Canelo Alvarez. I wouldn't be surprised to see Canelo fight David Lemieux next, because David Lemieux is actually the WBA mandatory challenger after knocking out Spike O'Sullivan. So maybe they go down that route. You know, David Lemieux, he's a golden boy fighter, as is Canelo. Easy fight to make, in-house fight, you know. Not the best fight in the world, but, you know, Lemieux comes to bring it. At worst case, you know, Lemieux, he is a contender. He's been about for years. He's held a title in the past. You know, I wouldn't be too mad with Canelo versus David Lemieux. Obviously, I would like something better, but, you know, I think that's the most likely option for Canelo Alvarez. Maybe a trilogy fight with Gennady Golovkin makes sense. Again, you know, people out there felt Golovkin won again, so maybe that's got legs, but I think they're going to go a different direction. So I feel that, you know, Canelo, he's going to fight David Lemieux next, in my opinion. I think that is the most realistic option for him. As for Gennady Golovkin, now where does he go? Does he try to avenge this defeat and stay at middleweight? Or should he now try to move up to super middleweight and become a two-weight world champion? What do you guys think? I would like to see him move up, I'll be honest. You know, there's some intriguing fights there. Gilberto Ramirez would be a good fight. The winner of George Groves and Callum Smith, I think that'd be a good fight. You know, that would sell in the UK. I think if Golovkin were to fight the winner of that fight, that would do well over here. So that's another good fight for Golovkin at super middleweight. Maybe Golovkin versus David Benavidez. You know, these are all good fights. I would like to see Golovkin try his luck at super middle, but we'll see what happens with that. Yeah, or the third option obviously for Golovkin is retire. He's 36 years old. It does look like he's lost a step, I'll be honest. So maybe it could be time to call it a day, who knows. But yeah, thoroughly enjoyable fight. I felt Canelo boxed a career best fight, and, you know, he was very good at stages. He was really good in stages. He did gas towards the end, but, you know, overall I felt he looked amazing. So yeah, really, really good fight. How did you guys score it? Peace.